Should you watch this video? Of course! If only making all decisions were that easy. Decision making is a skill that impacts nearly every aspect of work and life. So much so that the average adult makes around 35,000 total decisions each day. With so many choices on the line, it helps to have a structured decision-making process in place. By following the 6 steps in today's workshop, you'll find yourself able to make better choices, avoid common pitfalls, and build confidence in the decisions you make. And if you stick around until the end, I'll share how to overcome the dreaded analysis paralysis. The first step to improving your decision-making skills is understanding the personality traits that influence the choices we make. One is overconfidence. While having confidence is great, too much of it can lead to poor decisions. I got it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I got it! Ah! Knowing your limits is crucial to being a good decision maker. Another important trait that can influence our decisions is risk tolerance. When faced with a choice, do you tend to take a more cautious approach or just jump right in? Finally, our decisions are also influenced by our natural biases. Everyone carries biases shaped by past experiences, media, or fears. The key is asking yourself, am I letting my bias drive this decision? This will shift your thinking, allowing you to take a more analytical approach to vetting the situation. Now that we know what could be negatively influencing our decisions, it's time to examine the right steps to follow. Let's walk through the rest of the steps that many good decision makers use to choose wisely. Once you know a decision must be made, gather what you know and what you need to know. That could be internal data, external research, or insights from colleagues. A SWOT diagram for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats is one tool that can help you weigh a decision. Let's say you're deciding whether to take on a leadership role in a cross-department project. Here's how a SWOT diagram could help you break it down. Strengths. You're already comfortable presenting, and you have good relationships across teams. Those are assets you bring into the role. Weaknesses. You've never managed a budget before, and this project comes with financial responsibilities. That's a potential skill gap to flag. Opportunities. If the project goes well, you'll get visibility with senior leadership and strengthen your chances for promotion. Threats. The project has a tight timeline. If you don't manage the workload, it can create stress or affect your performance in other areas. By laying these out side by side, you can clearly see both the upside and the risks, which will help you make a more balanced choice about whether the opportunity is the right one to pursue. Next, examine the result of all possible alternatives. Here's where the classic pro-con list might come in, but for our purposes, we'll be using something a little more advanced. Instead of making a simple list of pros and cons behind each decision, try building a decision matrix. A decision matrix lets you score your choices more precisely based on the criteria that matter most. Let's look at an example by entering the decision matrix. Imagine you've been offered 2 job opportunities. Job A has higher pay, but job B has better growth potential and work-life balance. To make the choice more objective, build out a decision matrix. Here's how. Step 1. List your criteria for what you'd find valuable in each, like salary, advancement opportunities, commute distance, and flexibility. Step 2. Decide how important each factor is. For example, if growth is twice as important to you as commute time, you can weigh it higher. Step 3. Score each job against those factors. Salary for job A might get a 9, while job B might score a 6. Growth opportunities, on the other hand, could be something different. Maybe here, job B gets a 9 and job A gets the 6. You get the idea. When you multiply the scores by the weightings and add them up, you get a more balanced picture of which role is the better fit overall. The real value of a decision matrix is that it helps you slow down and prioritize what's most important to you, so you don't rely only on gut instinct. Whoa, I know crochet. Looking for more career tips? The choice is clear. Just search Indeed on YouTube for more videos just like this. Now take each option before you and try to visualize the results. Which options align with the company goals? Which solves the problem most effectively? This step helps narrow your choices based on the long-term impact you're looking for. Once you've weighed your options, the next step is to choose the solution that will bring the biggest impact. One way to determine this is by running what's called a Pareto analysis. The Pareto analysis is based on the principle that, in many situations, just a small number of causes, roughly 20%, are responsible for the majority of the effect, the remaining 80%. Here's an example. Imagine your customer support team is struggling with complaints. When you review the data, you discover that out of 10 major issues, 2, long response times and unclear billing, account for the 80% of all complaints. A Pareto analysis shows you that instead of trying to fix everything at once, you'll make the biggest impact by improving response times and clarifying invoices. By tackling those 2 areas first, you resolve the majority of customer frustration. That's the power of Pareto. It directs your energy towards the changes that will matter most. And finally, even the best decisions need follow-up. Watch how your choice plays out, track results, and pay attention to feedback. If circumstances change, you may need to tweak or pivot, but that's okay. It's all part of the decision-making process. Taking these strategic steps can help you make better decisions faster. But that does leave one big analytical elephant in the room. Analysis paralysis. We've all been there. It's that feeling when you're suddenly getting overwhelmed by information and options that you can't make any decision at all, and it's one of the biggest barriers to sound decision making. The best way to break through analysis paralysis is by taking action right away. Screenshot this cheat sheet of all the steps you can take. 1. Set a deadline for making the decision. 2. Limit your options to 2 or 3 strongest choices. 3. Use a simple framework like the decision matrix. And finally, 4. Ask for input from a trusted colleague. Remember that no decision is permanent. Take some pressure off yourself and remember that you can always adjust if needed. Strong decision making isn't about always being right or chasing perfection. It's about using tools, self-awareness, and structure to make thoughtful choices and then learning from the outcomes. If you found this workshop helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out Indeed on YouTube for more resources on improving your career skills.